Cool. So this is my monthly ASR now put together. So I did my weekly and then kind of combined it. So my weekly and my monthly are all together in one sheet. But then I have an overall month that I kind of input somewhere else separately. So for the weekly, I've broken it down. In the first week, I only took one trade, which fortunately was a win for 5.87%. This is a new sheet, so it wasn't created until the third week of November. However, in the second week, I took 7 trades, 6 wins, 1 break even. Obviously, you can imagine the high that it leaves you on at this point because you're on a 7 win streak with 1 break even. So at this point here, I kind of was in a very, very good mental space. Like I was like, okay, I'm doing everything right. Great start to the month. And usually new start to the month is very, very good for myself, going back and tracking through data. Came into week 3 and I took 15 trades. So my trades are increasing quite significantly as the weeks go on, and I think that's coming with confidence, which I'm noticing now. And you can see here, I took 2 wins, and then I was on an enormous losing streak. Now, this is where I literally probably took, I think, a 8 loss losing streak, and then I had a 2 win streak, which is insane, right? So definitely does show that your wins can be way above your losses. Had 3 break evens in there as well, so emotionally I wasn't in a good place. You can see, as I said, I had a good start to the month. Decided that I need to reduce the amount of trades I'm taking as I'm over trading, working with finding my feet. After a large sample size, I discovered my entries with high strike rate, win loss, which happened to be for myself my AFT and first 15-minute flags. So I tried to incorporate this in my new trading plan for a reminder of the month, and yeah, basically just helped me refine my trading plan. Kind of, I know what to look for in the higher time frames. I understand structures. I'm somebody who used to kind of take a lot of trades, still do of course, but a lot more trades, and I'd basically take an entry on anything that was valid. Differentiating between the valid and high probability was a little bit difficult for myself. So, after going back through all of my live trades for the past couple months, I then kind of found what I was actually very profitable on, and I was actually getting really good at, and my strike rate was really high on. So it wasn't just about the profit I was making; it was more so about the strike rate that I was interested in. And fortunately, it happened to be the AST 15-minute trades. So I really do understand those particular types of trades and where to find them, how to execute on them, when to execute, how to read between the lines. And that's where I kind of found my edge. So fortunately for myself, perhaps maybe it is because you know um, I'm just I'm waiting for that extra confirmation essentially. So yeah, that's kind of it. Obviously, I realized towards the end of the month I do need to work on the management side of things. I'm good at entering the trade. It's just the management side of things that I need to get better at. So the next week onwards, at this point here, I created a new trading plan. I updated my trading strategy. I basically, kind of limited myself per trades, but then I think I kind of actually removed this one. I said that I was going to trade less trades, but then I realized that taking maximum of zero point 0.2, I think I said, four to 5 trades. Well, it was actually more so maximum loss per day now. So I kind of, rather than reducing the amount of trades, because we are in a market where, a lot of trades can shape up in a particular day. Not saying that we'll take all of them, but you might take maybe 1 trade in the morning, 2 trades in the afternoon, and then in the evening another trade might shape up, and they might all be high probability. Not the highest of probability for that to work out, but it can. And because of that, that's why I kind of decided that, you know, um, I'm not going to restrict myself in that sense, but I'll definitely be sensible about my decisions. So more came into responsibility. So week 4, total trades was 7, 3 wins, 1 loss, 3 break evens, 1 missed trade. And that's 3.59% for the month. So for 7 trades, not so bad. I kind of recovered the week before as well. But more so, it was kind of the mental state of mind that moving forward from that week, which was very important. I think that this week was more of discipline, and that week was more so of just having to make these mistakes to only realize that I don't want to make those mistakes anymore and I need to do something about it. So I made action about it. And then over here is the implementation of the discipline and patience upon the action I made the previous week. And then week 5 is basically where I had to really get my head down. So a little bit of overtrading. I made a few mistakes in there. So this could have easily been in the region of, above 20, 30, 40%, but I'm not too bothered about that. It's more so about the thought process. So 11 trades, 5 wins, 5 losses, 1 break even, 1 mistrade. Also had the mistrade in there as well. This was UJ and this was Euro USD. UJ was missed because I misforecasted in the morning and I didn't put it in there. But if I did, then and it was fully in my plan, then I would have probably been quite profitable there. And then this one was also a mistrade for about 3.5%. I think this one was around about 20 odd percent. But yeah, so it's just one of those ones where I was driving and I just couldn't get it. So just a note for week 5, it's been a great month, a few ups and downs, working on reducing the amount of trades, refined my trading criteria. We'll bring forth an exciting, profitable December. Got to stay sharp and consistent. So, just follow my plan. When I did follow my plan, I was very profitable. When I diverted away from my plan, that's when I made mistakes. That's when it was just kind of, it's all psychology. So, yeah, just follow the plan. Once you have a good plan in place, don't divert away. So total 41 trades, 17 wins, 16 losses, 8 break evens, 2 mistrades, total profit of 28.02%. So I think it definitely shows like you can have more losses or an even win to loss ratio, and then break evens on the side, and you can still be up. So it's good. And then just want to showcase some of my trades here. So I'll just maximize this page. So this was the Euro USD trade. This was my position of the month. So we had the 1, 2, 3 leading up to the override. It was a position for 8.58%. I would say that there was a slight mismanagement there as well, but I was more than happy to take it out of the market. Then you can see that we had the AFT entry, which is my go-to setup. We had the push down from the 1, 2, 3. We created a very, well, I wouldn't say that's very steep, but it is steep to a inflection point. And then we had the push down, the phase line entry, and then I think it was roughly around about 13 or 10 pips odd. And then we sold on. And then at that point there, we just committed, which was exactly what I was looking for, to move into that impulsive phase, moving as quick as we moved up, as quick as we moved down. And then I think with management, we were coming into early morning hours, and then I kind of just thought, let me lock in some profit because I've got a few things I need to do in the morning. I don't want this to spike all the way up against me, and then I'm out of the trade. And I knew the high time frame was bullish, but we broke the 90% rule, and this is a rule, like, we broke this 90% rule. We could form a larger correction over here before we sell off, which we have done. If you go and see Euro USD from the 30th of November 2022, and then we sold off. So trade summary was the trade was taken on the 5-minute refinement when we had a small pullback. I was super aggressive with my entry because the DXY was looking the same, and then we had the potential smaller head and shoulders at the top of the structure, and we had the 1, 2, 3 approach on the high value area on the high time frames with the double top, 1 hour retrace, solid impulse, clearing the line, and then broke the line in the sand, and then it was basically that was the line in the sand. When we broke it, I knew that we are in for the solid run. So this was the mini head and shoulders that I was looking at. Not the cleanest to see, perhaps, not the cleanest. So it was just kind of like, you could say that this was the left, that was the head, and that was the right. And then over here we came down, we pulled back up, creating this more for right. But I think, more so the mismanagement was, I kind of believe, it was just here, it was just 8%. So at the end of the day, still very good trade. Not too bothered about it. Golden position of the month. So I put it in gold, silver, and bronze. So obviously this is the award-winning trade in my opinion. The context, the patience, everything was in there. Obviously you wouldn't be able to understand all of what I'm explaining, but the position kind of speaks for itself. And then the golden trade was more so here. So you can see that we had the descending channel, we had the corrective push up, and then we created this sort of running channel vibe. But before any of this was formed, I saw this more so as we had the 1 hour override over here, which was on a higher time frame, and then we had the push up and then the flag. The flag was not the cleanest in the world, but you can see it. We had two tops, two bottoms. As we had the push up, I set my entry and then I was in for the trade. This did continue and go all the way up here actually, but it was a manual close. At the time, I was quite happy with the manual close because it did pull back all the way to around about here before it went up. So, I think with that being there, psychologically, I would have probably taken out my money at that point and not been patient to wait for that. So that is also another lesson to understand, because when I am back testing, I'm looking at these things, I'm in a trade for maybe 2 weeks sometimes, maybe even 3 weeks. So, just understanding that price can take its time, but eventually when it does go there, imagine you've doubled what you've made there. This was 5.27. I probably would have been easily around about 10 odd percent on top. So yeah, so basically just explaining that was a flag, two tops, two bottoms, hit all the validity of my entry criteria for this particular 15-minute flag that I was looking for. It was on the 1 hour, so more so for 1 hour flag, which was even better. And then yeah, just had that move, which was great. Silver position for the month was USD CAD short 3%. Definitely mismanagement. It's currently running for about 20 odd percent, but once again, this is all in a month. Imagine what I've got for a lifetime. So we've got this descending channel on the higher time frame on the daily. We are moving in a very bullish continuation. However, we can move all the way down here or to at least these lows before we go up. So I'm basically just waiting to see how price develops. Perhaps maybe when we break this, create the 90% rule, I could just get into a larger flag over here before we go short. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I just mismanaged, but awesome trade. Honestly, I forecasted this. I was so proud of it. We had the 1, 2, 3. We had this override section as well, which I didn't mark in here because I just didn't. I was more so focused on this trend line as well. 1, 2, 3, confirmation of trend, meeting with this 1, 2, 3, meeting with this 1, 2, 3. There was just so many confluences. Nice little middle section as well. It was great. So looking at it in the grand scheme of things, when the price pushed up all the way up here, I was waiting for the push down, the flag, and the continuation. The other one was obviously we did have this M star fill over here, so that we could have just tapped in here and then sold off and not really come here and kind of scooped back up. But fortunately, it was very clean. Very, very nice. So looking at it on the 5 minute, we had the push down, we had the corrective squeeze here. This was the 5 minute entry I took, but there was another one just over here. I saw this as, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5 minute, and that was the 5 minute trade that I genuinely thought was the AFT entry. But there was an entry over here, there was an entry over here. This one would have probably been very tricky because if you moved to break even, you would have been tagged out regardless. So scoop, and then coming into, this was early morning, so you would have to be so sharp for this one. And then we came in second entry point, and then we corrected down, and then probably at that point there you would have been taken out somewhere in here, or if you were not aggressive, you'd be in for the trade, and now the trade's all the way down here somewhere. So overall mismanagement for me. I basically saw that as the retest, and I thought, okay, we're going to commit and go. If we do come up, this would be the sort of line in the sand, but I'll give it a little bit of extra room and put it in there. And then when we had that spike up and then we started, I was just like, oh dear, I'm not going to just hold this trade for a break even. I might as well leave with something now, because it was originally running 8%, but in the grand scheme of things, looking at the higher time frame, we had so much room to go. So I think that's where I kind of made the mistake. But like I said, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we learn on. So the last one here is the bronze position. The bronze position was taken on the 23rd of November for 3.17%. It was also a short position, which was one of my high probability positions. So it was on Euro GBP. Essentially, I saw the push down and the flag. So we had this override section that it tapped into. Not the cleanest to see on here, but we basically tapped into the override. We pushed up. We had a 1, 2, 3 in there as well. We had the solid impulse down, and then we created a flag with two tops, two bottoms. This was a pending order entry. As soon as we had this one there, I waited for it to tap into the two tops. As soon as the two tops was in, I set my pending order, clicked the button, and then I was tagged straight into it. When I was tagged in, it was like, oh, okay, let's see what happens. Gave myself a little bit extra room just for breathing space, and then we pushed down, and then we just committed. When it came to around about 3 o'clock, I think I took my dogs for a walk and stuff, and I kind of just decided, I'm not feeling 100%. I wasn't sure if I was going to be sick or ill or something, but fortunately I wasn't. But then I closed the position, and I think, I could have probably managed it better and just probably locked in my management around about here, because then I would have been a lot more fortunate. And then I think I even explained over down here, I locked in around about 3.17%, which I'm very, very happy about. But if it wasn't for the mismanagement, it would have been about 5 to 7% after really reviewing it. But like I said, it's not really about the mismanagement. Actually, it's more so about um, you know the understanding of why I did that. And I think the reason why I did it was not really acceptable. I think I should have more so realized that, just push your management up here, let the trade do what it does, and then just move the management down as it goes. I was just extra aggressive, just kind of just jumped out the market, and I knew price was coming back down here anyway. So this was the sort of target zone. So I think, when it did come down here, it was roughly about 9.5%, 9%. So it is what it is. These are the trades for the month. So this one was accident, actually. So over here, I accidentally took a large lot size position, so I had to close it immediately. And because of that, I took a 3% loss, so that also affected my end of month. There was obviously definitely some very, very good trades in here for the month. Here's some missed trades as well. So I had a missed trade on Euro USD, would have banked around about 261%. This was on last week. So this week, actually. Um, so essentially, this is when we tapped into this override, and then we had the push down. This is exactly as forecasted. Then we had this sort of head and shoulders. Not the cleanest, probably not the traditional trade, but definitely was one that I was, I knew that with this retrace candle here, this is going to be, commitment. So we did get it, but in the end, I kind of realized now, like, it's just a mistrade. We had the 1, 2, 3, we had the rejection, and then I was like, well, if this goes, it's going to go from here. So it did commit, and then I would have probably been quite lenient with my management, left it in there, and then it just pulled back, and now it's all the way back up here. So it is what it is. The other one, which unfortunately was a very big mismanagement, was the one I was speaking about before, where it was the third week of November, and essentially I just didn't forecast it in the morning, and we had the override section here. We tapped into the override, had a bullish pin bar, then we started to correct ever so slightly, and then created that AFT entry, and then 15-minute flag, which is very nice. Refined on the AFT trade as well. Would have been straight in there, 10 pips, and then boom, just sold off. Honestly, right now it's right. It would have been running for around about 50% if the management was on point. But yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's just a trade at the end of the day. It's really cool though to see these things play out. And there was another entry over here as well. Oh, sorry, another entry over there. Probably would never have taken that one, but this one for sure was beautiful. So yeah, that was basically it. And then I've got some of my daily forecasts in here, where basically I forecasted each day, and then yeah, just trade management. So I started the month with 1% risk, reduced my trading size on the week 4 to 0.2% risk. Even though it sounds like a massive change, it really is. It gives me a lot of breathing space, allows me to really get creative with my trading, because I'm trading less risk. So, on an odd day, because of the sort of criteria I'm trading, it's high risk, low risk, high reward. So a lot of patience, a lot of discipline, and very good understanding of high time frames. That basically enables me to get these refined entries. When I am executing on a refined entry, some of them are banking me 7, 8, 9%. So you can imagine that 7, 8, 9% on, for example, a 0.2 position is giving me around about 45. That's, yeah, it's huge. Like, if I wanted to get 10%, yeah, if I wanted to get 10% on a 0.2 account, I need to get 50%. So it's a long game perspective. I can't be trading, the way I was before. So it's really definitely pushing me, and it's making me a lot more sharper with my trading. But it's definitely achievable, because I've ended the month on 28.02%. So imagine, some of these trades are immense. You know, I mean, if you go over these trades, you'd be wondering why I didn't put them in the golden, bronze, silver, and that. But I think because for the pure reason that these are the ones that had very good context to it, and they played out very well to basically just following my plan. So some trades were invalid in there, some of them were mistakes. There was loads of different criterias for trades, and I think, for somebody who's taken the very, I would say, very few but yet so many trades, 41 is not bad actually for a 28% month. So I think 17 wins, 16 losses, a lot of mistakes, maybe 2 invalid wins, break evens, and then yeah, I think it was a very good month in my opinion. So yeah, have a great weekend, have a good week, and yeah, I'll probably be analyzing the markets now and then get myself prepared for today and tomorrow. So have a good weekend.